Dr. Greer, what are unacknowledged special access programs?
Yeah, this is confusing to a lot of people, including some of the senior folks in the government I've briefed. Special access projects are ones that you just have to be clear to. You can have a confidential, secret, or top secret clearance, but that isn't what matters. It's what you're clear to for a special access project. The unacknowledged ones are what the pop culture would call black. They're off the books, they're off the record, and they're hermetically sealed from anyone not in them. So to give you an example, one of my military advisors had been in an unacknowledged special access project. Let's call it USAP for short, so we don't have to keep saying the whole term.
Yeah.
And the way that worked, it was a $2 or $3 billion project. It was off books, black money. There was an admiral who headed it up. And the instructions were he was taken into an underground SCIF, secure communication information facility, and everyone had all their weapons and electronics taken. They went underground. A security officer was the only one with a gun, pulled out the clip, pulled out a button and said, a bullet, and said, "This bullet has your name on it if you tell anyone, including your CO, about this project. It doesn't exist except for the people in this room." That's how those run. So that is how they are structured and maintain very, very strict secrecy. Now, it's beyond just a normal top secret program. The unacknowledged special access projects, which I learned about in the early 90s, are really how you structure both corporate and government programs dealing with a number of issues, but the biggest one, the crown jewel of all the USAPs, are extraterrestrial intelligence, UFOs, the technologies associated with them, the energy systems, propulsion systems.
Wow. Would this be similar to like when you hear these great numbers like $4 trillion missing, $10 trillion missing from the budget? I remember Donald Rumsfeld having to answer to this one time.
The reality of it is we're estimating now it's anywhere from $8 to $20 trillion that have gone into those operations over many, many decades. And a lot of it is of course, from very creative sources of funding. We can get into that. But the structure of it's what's important. Most people don't understand the architecture of secrecy. For example, I briefed an admiral once who knew about USAPs, but the USAPs dealing with the UFO and ET issue, he was denied access to. And when I gave him a document that had the project code names and numbers on them, he looked into it and was basically told he didn't have a need to know. And this guy was the head of intelligence for the Joint Chiefs of Staff. We'll get to this later. So I think that there's a sort of the public and the media sort of compounds this by acting like the high school civics lesson we have where there's the president, there's the Congress, there's the Supreme Court.
Right.
The commander-in-chief is the president, has all access pass to everything. That's true on most issues. It is not true on the UFO and ET issue and has not been since about 1956 to 59, when President Eisenhower lost control over these operations. And that's when this super top secret program started and pretty much left the president and many senior officials in the government who should know out of the loop.